Good evening, everyone. It is March 18th, 2024. It is 6:30. It is time to start the Liquor Commission Control hearing for the evening. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
Do it the regular one.
Just want me to roll call?
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Raffato?
Here.
Commissioner Kruger?
Present.
Commissioner Lang?
Here.
Commissioner Vito?
Here.
Commissioner Papantos?
Present.
Commissioner Vogel?
Here.
Chairperson Horker?
Here. Citizens' concerns and
Not
comments?
today.
None.
A new
Mr.
business.
Spondylus.
If you could read the first item.
Okay. New business, 6A, consideration of a request of a Class I liquor license for St. Joseph the Worker Parish for an event to be held on Sunday, May 5th, 2024.
Now, Mr. Spondylus.
Thank you. As the title indicates, this is a request from St. Joseph the Worker for a Class I nonprofit special event liquor license to sell and serve alcoholic beverages during a one-day Cinco de Mayo event to be held on Sunday, May 5th. The church has provided proof of liquor liability insurance for this event, has paid the $50 associated fee, and has provided proof of Bassett certification. If the commission is willing, staff recommends approval. Happy to answer any questions.
If there are no questions, I would be looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Raffato, second Commissioner Kruger. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Kruger?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Commissioner Vito?
Yes.
Commissioner Papantos?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Raffato?
Yes.
Chairperson Horker?
Yes. Item B, Clerk Simpson.
6B, consideration of a request for a Class N-V liquor license for Café Parlay Wheeling LLC doing business as Café Parlay, a proposed video gambling cafe at 1000 South Milwaukee Avenue.
Mr. Spondylus.
Thank you. Café Parlay has submitted an application for a Class NV liquor license for a proposed gaming establishment within a portion of the former site of Andy's Dam Inn. That business closed in 2022 and held both a liquor and gaming license. This license is classed as a gaming establishment as it will have fewer than 30 seats and will not offer an extensive food or beverage menu. Separately, this business has requested a special use approval as a gaming establishment and reduction to the amount of required parking. Those matters will be considered by the village board this evening during its regular meeting. I'm happy to answer questions. Otherwise, staff recommends approval with the following 4 conditions. First, submittal of a certificate of liquor liability insurance. Second, submittal of Bassett certificates for all applicable employees. Third, satisfactory background check results. And finally, the passage of an ordinance by the Board of Trustees authorizing the creation of a new Class NV liquor license, which is on this evening's village board meeting.
Commissioner Lang.
Thank you. I have a few questions about the background of the building, the history and such, that may help me make a decision for this. So, Mr. Clicker, the building has, is kind of unique in a way where it has apartments.
Correct.
And is that a legal non-conforming?
It is. With the property was annexed in as that in its current configuration, and as such can continue to operate as such.
Okay. And as that building, I know we're limited on parking and that we're working to adjust that. Are there many uses for a building like that with the parking that is there?
The zoning is permitted for commercial and retail uses. It would also allow for office uses. And I personally believe that the remaining vacant space that is in question would most likely go as office.
And also, since parking is an issue, that'll all be striped and
Correct.
taken care of, because right now
Curb
there
gutter,
isn't any?
paved, striped, yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Lang. Commissioner Kruger.
Thank you, Mr. President. Is the petitioner here? Come to the mic, please. Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for trying to do what you're trying to do over there. I understand that you have 3 owners and that only one will be Bassett trained. Do either of the other 2 owners intend to serve liquor?
We intend to hire employees who are required to be Bassett trained.
Right, so you'll only have 1 owner then that will be Bassett trained.
Currently, the person who manages the day-to-day operations is Bassett trained, and under him, we'll have some separate employees who are required to be Bassett trained.
Great, but none of the other owners will serve, because if they
No,
do,
no,
then,
no,
okay, great.
no.
And did you happen to have any renderings of your intended plans for interior and exterior improvement?
Interior, we're still working on it. Exterior was submitted to the village. We're just changing some of the wood paneling to more windows, and obviously putting signage on
And
the
some
building.
black paint, I think, somewhere where it's...
Correct, and repainting the windows.
I was more curious about the interior, but I imagine they'll go to the plan commission for...
Yeah, I have a similar site too.
They have gone to the Plan Commission for their use. The interior finishes are usually not scope of the Plan Commission to review.
Fair enough, so we'll just see it when it's open. Okay,
I have a
great.
site in Pingree Grove that I'm looking to model, so, I mean, if you want
What's the name of your site, your facility in Pingree Grove?
Same thing, Café Parlay in Pingree Grove. I just opened up about 2 months ago.
Okay.
So it'd be a similar look to what's currently there, so.
Does it have a website?
It doesn't have a website, but Google Images, we do have
But I'd have to drive to Pingree Grove if I wanted to see what it looked like.
or you can Google it and there's images online.
Ah,
Yeah,
very good.
just not a website, just a Google business address.
Very good. I was just
Yep.
curious. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kruger. Any other questions or comments? If there are none, I would be looking for a motion to approve with the conditions. Do I read these? You've already read them. Do I? Okay. Motion to approve as conditioned.
So moved with conditions.
Commissioner Papantos, second.
Second?
Commissioner Kruger, roll call, please.
Commissioner Lang,
No.
Commissioner Vito,
Yes.
Commissioner Papatos?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel,
No.
Commissioner Rafato,
No.
Commissioner Kruger,
Yes.
Chairperson Horker.
Yes. You made it, I think.
Yep, yeah, 4 yeses.
Good luck. Be good.
6C, motion to declare the Class B-V liquor license held by Alamo Mexican Grill LLC at 56 and 58 North Wolf Road to be forfeited and lapsed.
Mr. Spondelis.
Thank you. As a follow-up to previous commission discussions, El Alamo Mexican Grill has officially transferred ownership to La Donita Oaxaqueña and therefore tendered its license back to the village. This item provides the technical legislation to forfeit said license.
Questions or comments? Right, left?
Make a motion we approve.
Commissioner Vogel makes a motion, second.
Second.
Commissioner Papantos, roll call, please.
Commissioner Vito,
Yes.
Commissioner Papantos,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rafato,
Yes.
Commissioner Kruger,
Yes.
Commissioner Lang,
Yes.
Chairperson Horker.
Yes, I need a motion to adjourn the Liquor Control Commission hearing for the evening.
So moved.
Second?
Motion, Commissioner Rafato, second, Commissioner Kruger, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Liquor Control Commission is adjourned. Clerk Brady, attendance. Like to call to order the regular meeting of the Village of Wheeling for March 18th, 2024. Commissioner Brady.
Let me just
Clerk.
get the meeting up.
Regular meeting for 24. Clerk Brady.
I'm coming. All right.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Rafato,
Here.
Trustee Kruger,
Present?
Trustee Lang,
Here.
Trustee Vito,
Here.
Trustee Papantos,
Present.
Trustee Vogel,
Here.
President Horker.
Here, before we proceed with the regularly scheduled meeting, I would like to have just a moment of silence for a lifelong, nearly 90-year member of the community who also served 2 terms as a village trustee and who also happened to be my father. Moment of silence, please. Thank you all very much. Minutes. You have before you the regular minutes of the meeting of February 5th, 2024. I need a motion for their approval.
So moved.
Trustee Vogel, second.
Second.
Trustee Papantos, roll call, please.
Trustee Krueger,
Yes.
trustee Lang,
Yes.
trustee Vito,
Yes.
trustee Papantos.
Yes.
Trustee Vogel,
Yes.
trustee Ruffado,
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes, changes to the agenda,
There are no changes this evening.
aside from my liberty, of course. Thank you. Proclamations, congratulatory awards. We have a nice evening this evening, don't we?
We do. Chief Dunn, if you would.
Thank you, President Horker, and members of the board. Tonight, we have a check presentation that will be done by the Police Department's Unity Fund, and I will turn it over to Detective Laura Joshko to introduce her coworkers that are with her and our special guests.
Thanks, Chief. So as you mentioned, I'm Laura Joshko. I'm a police officer of the Village of Wheeling. Next to me is Victoria. She's one of our CSOs, and she's also a member of the Wheeling Police Unity Foundation. It is the police department's non-for-profit group. So we do fundraisers to help local charities, as well as any families in the area that we catch wind of that they could use any sort of financial assistance. Part of our fundraising efforts has been for the Northwest Community Hospital Cancer Patient Assistance Fund. So we have Gret Lurs here tonight from NCH Foundation, as well as Bear Family McDonald's has also joined us. We have David Bear, Nicole Buchanan, and Griselda Sanchez joining us to represent the Bear Family McDonald's. So our fundraisers started in the fall. We did the Arrest Cancer event at Bear Family McDonald's, the one here on Dundee Road. And then the police officers participated in No Shave November. And then we also sold breast cancer patches, like the ones that the officers wear on their shoulders in the month of October. So all in all, we were able to raise $3,010 to give to the Northwest Community Hospital Cancer Patient Assistance. And Bear Family teamed up with us, if you guys want to come join me. And they'd also like to make a donation to the foundation as well.
We have not ever held two events before. Look at this.
My last little plug for the Unity Foundation is we are always accepting donations that also help fund scholarships for kids that want to get in any sort of public service field, and a summer camp that we host at the police department over the summer. We have a Square website up, so if you Google Wheeling Police Unity Foundation Square, it should pop right up, and we are still accepting donations. Thank you.
You know, over the course of the last few weeks, I've had, on various events, had the opportunity to cross paths with the fire department, with the police department for several reasons. We have an amazing group of police and firemen in this community, and it is wonderful that you guys are doing what you do the way you do it. I need to say that publicly occasionally, so thank you. And I know you've only been here a few weeks, but you got a great group of guys. Keep them doing what they're doing.
They queued up the siren right on command.
Now, changes to the agenda, there are none? No. Appointments, proclamations, none. Citizens' comments?
Nope. Just cruising.
Consent
Consent
agenda.
agenda. All items listed on the.
Oh, wait. Staff reports?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Spondelis. Mr. Kaup, we have something.
We have a very brief announcement, just to let everybody know that our landscape waste collection is going to begin for the first regular pickup after April the 1st. So it's something that we want to announce every year, and just wanted to let everybody know that.
Thank you, sir. Clerk Brady, you're up.
Consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the village board and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless the board member or citizen so requests, in which event the items will be removed from the general order of business and considered after all other agenda items. 11A, resolution authorizing acceptance of the State of Illinois previous bid contract with Presidio Networked Solutions for a one-year renewal of a support maintenance contract for Cisco SmartNet technical services in the amount of $68,122.12. 11B, resolution authorizing the adoption of revisions to the previous policy manual for the Village of Wheeling, personal policy. 11C, resolution accepting a bid and approving a not-to-exceed contract in the amount of $220,650 with Cahill Heating, Cooling, Electric, Plumbing, and Sewer, Inc. for the 2024 HVAC unit replacement program. 11D, resolution approving a previous bid contract with Patriot Pavement Maintenance for the fiscal year 2024 crack sealing and parking lot sealing program in the amount of $85,000. 11E, ordinance amending Chapter 4.32 of the Village of Wheeling's Municipal Code, alcohol liquor dealers, specifically Section 4.32.085, to increase the authorized number of Class N-V liquor license.
Thank you, Clerk Brady. Are there any questions or comments about any of the items? If there are none, I would be looking for a motion to approve as read.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Kruger, second trustee Papantos. Roll call, please.
Trustee Lang,
Yes.
trustee Vito,
Yes.
trustee Papantos,
Yes.
trustee Vogel,
Yes.
trustee Burfato,
Yes.
trustee Kruger,
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes. 13, new business.
New business, 13A, an ordinance granting special use approval to permit a gaming establishment for Café Parlay, 1000 South Milwaukee Avenue, docket number PSU 23-0015.
Also read B, please.
Oh, sorry. 13B, ordinance granting a variation from Title 19 zoning to permit a reduction in the required off-street parking for Café Parlay, 1000 South Milwaukee Avenue, docket number PV 23-0009.
Mr. Clicker, what
Yes,
do
on
we
both
got?
of these items, they were heard by the Plan Commission at their February 28th meeting, and both subsequently did receive unanimous recommendations for approval. The special use, though, did have a few conditions placed on it, and those were that, one, the subject property and building shall connect to the village water and sanitary services at their own expense within 12 months of the availability of such services, which shall also include obtaining all necessary permits for such connections. Upon the installation of and final village inspection of said utility connections, the existing well and septic system shall be abandoned at the subject premises. 2, a wheeling business license must be obtained from the Community Development Department before the business begins operations. And 3, a wheeling sign permit shall be required in order to permit any exterior signage to be installed, except for signage pursuant to Chapter 21.6 of the Wheeling Sign Code. As it pertained to the parking reduction, again, this was, as we discussed in the Liquor Commission hearing, this is an existing condition, an existing parking lot that is actually being formalized, if you will. That will be striped, proper curb and gutter, and that installed. So when doing that, the parking is reduced. Below the village standards of 26 spaces would be required per village standards based on the size of the businesses and the types of uses. But the Plan Commission did feel that they met the requirements for reduction with two conditions. And one would, that any approval of a variation to reduce the required number of parking spaces is contingent upon the village board's approval of the special use, request for special use for a gaming establishment. And that two, the petitioner shall submit a revised floor plan to the Community Development Department that reflects a reduction from 23 seats to 18 seats for Café Parlay. The petitioner has provided that, and the ordinance, proposed ordinance before the board has been amended to reflect that.
Thank you, Mr. Clicker. Trustee Papantos, you had questions.
Thank you. One will be for you, but first I'm going to start with staff. When do we expect the availability of water sewer for them to connect to?
The availability is predicated on our completion of a project that right now is in the hands of IDOT. The permitting and other ancillary interactions that we have with the Department of Transportation are ongoing. It was scheduled to be completed this year. I can't say more than that. It wouldn't be later than probably mid next year. We're still holding out hope that it is in 2024, though.
So, but if it was mid-next year, that would give the petitioner until 26.
Correct. 12 months from.
12 months from
12
whenever.
months from the completion of our water main extension project, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I know this project has been going on for some time, and that's kind of why I asked. There's no guarantee, but, so you understand, we're not holding it up, but.
No, I get it, I understand.
Thank
Yeah.
you. You mentioned that you do have a similar facility in Pingree Grove. How many gaming terminals do you have there? And do you see all six, or if you have six, do you see seats 20, at all times, or?
So my location in Pingree Grove has 6 video gaming terminals, which are what we're proposing for this site as well. It is very uncommon for all 6 to be taken at one time, unless there's some promotion that we're running, match play or free play or something like that. But it is very uncommon to see 6 machines taken at any one time.
And how many employees do you have there at one time?
1,
Just
max.
one?
Yeah.
Okay. And when do you expect to open?
That's
Granted.
pending the approval from the gaming board. So, it might be a 3-month process or a 6-month process, which also gives us time to build out the space and bring it up to the standard that we need to.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Papantos. Any other questions or comments? If there are none, I would be looking for a motion to approve, including the conditions as read.
So moved.
Looking for just item A, that's the special use.
So moved with conditions?
Trustee Papantos, second. Trustee Kruger, roll call, please.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
No.
Trustee Rufato?
No.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes. And now need a motion to approve ordinance granting variation from Title 19, required off-street parking. Trustee Lang, second.
Second.
Anybody? Trustee Papantos, roll call, please.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
No.
Trustee Rufato?
No.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes.
Thank
Good
you.
luck, sir.
Thank you.
Item C.
Resolution authorizing 5-year extensions of the contracts of waste management for residential and commercial waste services in the Village of Wheeling from the term beginning June 1st, 2024 and concluding May 31st, 2029.
Mr. Spondilis.
Thank you. In 2004, the Village of Wheeling entered into a franchise agreement with Waste Management for waste hauling services for residential and commercial purposes. Before you this evening is a 5-year extension of that contract, the terms of which remain identical to previous, with one exception, to our previous contract. And this is important because Wheeling has a clause in its contract that allows the exclusive right of renewal to the Village of Wheeling, which caps its annual increases at CPI or 3%. So should the board agree, Waste Management has indicated to us that across the board, waste hauling would go up 3% for this year, for the first year of the contract. For the remaining 4 years of the contract, it would fall back to the language in the agreement, which is CPI or a maximum of 3%. This is a big deal and a win for the community, as waste hauling expenses have skyrocketed over the last few years. And the clause in our franchise agreement that keeps that cap at 3% is really a protection against the economic environments, both short-term and, as we're seeing since we've been with Waste Management long-term, we've been with them since 2004. So ultimately, it is a 5-year extension, which caps at 3%. Only the first year is set, which would be a 3% increase. The following 4 years falls under, again, the language of the contract. The item that I said was the exception to the contract remaining the same is the at-your-door service. 5 years ago, the village voluntarily joined a program that Waste Management has for the removal of household hazardous waste. It is an excellent program wherein a resident, and this is only for residential pickup, where a resident can call and have their household hazardous waste collected and picked up from Waste Management. This is an all-in fee, so everybody had to pay this fee, and everyone has been for the last 5 years. Unfortunately, when looking at the metrics of the program's success, they're really not reaching their peak potential. On average, there are approximately 460 pickups annually, which makes this not beneficial to the Village of Wheeling or the environment, but very beneficial to Waste Management as they continue to collect the fee whether household hazardous waste pickups are happening or not. So that service has been removed from this extension. However, I should mention that the idea of collecting household hazardous wastes remains a priority for staff and I believe the community. And in conversation with SWANK, which is the Solid Waste Agency of Northern Cook County, of which Wheeling is a member, they are discussing a consortium-wide contract with a vendor called Clean Harbor, who will provide the same type of service, meaning they will come and collect all the household hazardous wastes at your curbside at a rate far less than what Waste Management is charging. I will be working with SWANK over the next 6 months to help bring that program to the organization as a whole, again, for which Wheeling is a part of. Should the timing not work out of that, I will bring back a 1-year contract with Clean Harbor to you all to consider whether the Village of Wheeling should, on its own, join their program for household hazardous waste. So, again, the service is important, although it's not being utilized to its fullest potential. We want to make sure that there's always the opportunity for people to appropriately dispose of their household hazardous waste. And a program through the larger consortium seems to make the most sense, since that is one of SWANK's highest priorities. Certainly it's their highest strategic plan initiative, and it makes the most sense that they would administer such a program. But if they cannot, I will bring back for the board's consideration a 1-year contract for a similar service. We have vetted the numbers, and again, Clean Harbor would still provide that service less than what Waste Management is currently charging. Therefore, it makes sense that we eliminate the service from our Waste Management contract. In the interim, I would remind everyone that this current contract with Waste Management and the at-your-door service does not expire until May 31st. Therefore, the residents still have over 2 months to make use of that service, which costs them nothing. Furthermore, there are a number of categories of recycling that happen, that the Village of Wheeling participates in, that are available on our website, whether they are available directly through the Village of Wheeling or through other contracts. They are available on our website, and we're putting together a collated list, kind of a fact sheet of, if you want to get rid of fill in the blank, here's where you go. For example, sharps, batteries, landscape waste, unused medicine, motor oil, electronics, shredding events, et cetera. All of that we're going to put into a single location so that if a resident has a question about how to get rid of any of that, they have a single source to find the answer. So we are working on that. But even since this item went to you as part of the agenda, we have added an electronics recycling event for May 4th, which is going to piggyback on a already scheduled shredding event that the village was hosting through Swank. So seeing that the at-your-door service is going to go away, and that was how we dealt with electronics recycling over the last 5 years, Public Works staff has contacted Swank. They have already initiated a electronic recycling event to happen, piggybacking on this shredding event. So this remains a priority for us, but financially, it makes the most sense for the residents not to have to pay that automatic fee of $1.55 per billing cycle to waste management. There are more efficient ways of handling the disposal of household hazardous wastes. So that was the longer explanation for at-your-door service than perhaps the bigger contract. But this is a very good thing, we believe, in being able to secure a minimal increase in an industry that is seeing skyrocketing prices. I'm happy to answer any questions, as is Director Kaup, and my thanks to Director Kaup and Assistant Director Bajer for their help in getting this contract before you this evening.
Trustee Kruger?
Thank you, Mr. President. Managers Fundilis, first of all, nice job on this and the explanation and staff's input. The question that I have is that this is a renewal, a 5-year renewal, which
Yes.
was a condition of the existing contract. At the end of the 5 years, we renegotiate and start all over again, right?
No. The clause that allows the village the exclusive right to renew remains.
Great. That's all I had. Thank you.
What always says.
We good?
Yes.
Okay. Legal counsel seem to have something.
The language in the contract says the exclusive right to renew for one more term,
Okay.
but it always says one more term.
Oh, I like that.
Didn't realize that was perpetual. That's why I asked, so that's great.
I was kind of wondering how you do that. Was there a question?
Jim?
Trustee Rufato?
As an at-your-door user, I've used it a number of times. I like the service, but I understand the economics. And if we can save money for our residents, that's great. And we also have steps in place to replace at-your-door. And that's what I'm looking for. And you've sufficiently answered my questions. Though, for instance, if I had a TV that I wanted to get rid of right away, could I bring them to Swank?
Yeah, excellent question. Yes. So one of the benefits of being part of Swank is that we are able to participate in any of the events that other Swank communities hold as well. So the answer directly is yes, you can bring it to Swank offices, well, not the office, to the
Facility?
the one-day event to the facility off River Road, thank you, which I believe is every Saturday during summer months.
Yes, the Saturday is spring, summer, and fall, throughout the whole year except for holidays, and then the one-day events are spring, summer, and fall.
So for the public, it is every Saturday through spring, summer, and fall at the Swank Transfer Station on River Road. But also, a Wheeling resident can participate in any of the other one-day events that are happening in any other Swank community. That is all on our website, or at least linked to Swank, who provides all the details for one-day events throughout their communities.
And how confident is Swank that they could get an agreement with Clean Harbor within 6 months?
I think we are very confident, but that's why I put in that fallback that if not, I will bring you a one-year contract for your consideration through Clean Harbor. But I do think that it makes sense, and I have had this conversation with the executive director who agrees that it is something that they should take on.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Rufato. Any other questions? If there are none, we need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Trustee
Second.
Rufato, second, was that Trustee Kruger? Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
President Horker.
Yes.
13D, resolution authorizing the village president to sign an intergovernmental agreement between Community Consolidated School District 21 and the Village of Wheeling to facilitate construction of the South Dunhurst Storm Sewer Improvement Project.
Mr. Svondillis.
Thank you. Very proud to present the following intergovernmental agreement between the village and School District 21 that facilitates a major stormwater mitigation project for the residents of South Dunhurst. In 2015, the Village of Wheeling underwent a massive stormwater study that identified a number of projects that would help to mitigate flooding in areas throughout our community. Since that time, the village has spent millions of dollars completing projects throughout the community, all the hot spots within the community, and have, I would say, absolutely drastically reduced any flooding that we have seen over the past few years. This project, the South Dunhurst project, was identified in that study in 2015 and is the last major project that study identified as a priority for the community. The IGA, the Intergovernmental Agreement that's before you this evening, is with School District 21 and concerns a 2.5-acre parcel next to Mark Twain School. The school district owns that parcel. It is unused open space. It is space that the school could not otherwise use for construction or any other purpose. It is not used as a playground or any other facility because while it is adjacent to the school, it's a little too far away for supervision, so the land is there and available. This project is the upsizing of stormwater sewer pipes throughout the neighborhood, and it is allowing the stormwater that is currently, unfortunately, remaining on the street to be brought to a basin that would be dug on this 2.5-acre site. And it would create 17.5 acre feet of stormwater storage. That is a huge number of acre feet, or an interesting engineering formula and definition, but it is a lot of water. And it would provide a place for us to move what is currently street level through new pipes into a basin at that site that is controlled. One of the additional benefits of having this amount of storage is that through a program with MWRD, that 17.5 acre feet of storage can be counted both physically, meaning it can hold that much water, and academically, meaning the amount of water that is held there can also be assigned to future development for projects within the Village of Wheeling. So it does serve double duty in both physically managing the mitigation needs of the neighborhood, but also help give us an opportunity to incentivize future projects within our community in years going forward. The school district was exceptionally cooperative in working with staff in recognizing the need for this project, which is not a Village of Wheeling need. It is a community need, and they were very good at recognizing that there is benefit that they could see along with the direct benefit the residents would see, and that is in exchange for this land, which we would be buying for $1, the village will be providing up to $275,000 to create a turf field for the children at Mark Twain. So they had a project that they had already identified, and as part of this deal, they were able to fund that project through our contribution to them in exchange for this land. It is certainly a win for the kids, but also for the residents in that neighborhood, and ultimately because of the acre feet available to us for the community as a whole. Director Kalp, did I miss anything?
You hit all the high points.
Excellent. Well, then with that, I would ask if there are any questions.
Are there any questions? Trustee Lang?
With a basin that size, how deep is it?
Well, the volume is about 15 and a half acres, the size of the,
Depth
so yeah,
from-
so it's 2.5 at that, so at the deepest, it's about 8 feet. It's
Okay.
going to have a retention wall on the one side to allow for that depth, and it's going to be slowly graduated slope on the school side. There will also be a fence around it to keep a separation between the kids.
And that was my next question, is how, I'm sure you have protection in mind, so.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Trustee Papantos, you had a question.
How long will it take from our approval to accepting water there?
This is the first step. The intergovernmental agreement will allow us to take possession of the property. Right now, the board approved last month the agreement with our engineer to design the full design, the collection system within the neighborhood. They're working on that right now. We have 60% completion drawings already in for MWRD approval. Once we get those back, our intention is to start the excavation for the actual basin this summer. And after that, we'll then stage in a 3-phase attempt the construction of the collection system. We anticipate doing that because it's not going to be limited to the school year as the basin itself will be. We would like to have that complete by next year, and we would have the system functional by mid-2025.
And then when another group had come before us about a basin, and they talked about native shrubbery or whatever to go, what are we going to plant in there? Is it going to be grass, or is it going to be?
So the plantings are riparian, native plantings, and they're low maintenance. Because we're anticipating receiving MWRD funding for this project, we will have a maintenance requirement, a 10-year requirement, if we receive the grant funding. The budget does not contemplate this grant funding. We're set to be able to pay for the entire project on our own, but it will be similar plantings to what was presented to you for the Jackson Drive project that you saw late last year.
And then the funding is basically through this stormwater utility fee that we all pay on our water bills?
The funding in the capital plan is through the stormwater utility fee, yes. And then, as I said, we are also pursuing grant funding through the federal and the state governments.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Papantos. Any other, Trustee Rufato?
So what type, have you thought about communications to that whole subdivision as to what the work is going to happen there?
Sure, we will do project notices. Again, we're a little bit a ways, but yes, we will do project notices. It's a relatively small neighborhood, so we'll canvass and make sure we cover everyone, because there will be traffic interruptions. We will be digging and installing larger pipes, so it will be a bit invasive. But we'll make sure everyone's aware.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Rufato. Any other, Trustee Kruger?
Thank you, real quick. Director Kalp, you said that you anticipated starting digging the basin this year.
Correct.
Will you avoid during the school year so that we're not on site when kids are there, or?
Absolutely. By agreement, in our discussions with the school district for the contemplation of this project, that was a non-starter for the school district, that we had to conduct on-premises construction activities
When school is
during
not in session.
non-school time.
Got it, thank you.
Thank you, trustee Kruger. If we have no other questions, looks like we need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Trustee Kruger, second.
Second.
Trustee Papantos, roll call, please.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes. Official communications. Clerk Brady, you have something for us?
Yes, I do. The presidential primary is tomorrow, Tuesday, March 19th. Polls are open from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. If you have not registered to vote, you can do so at your home precinct only. For more information, go to the Your Voter Information tool at www.cookcountyclerkil.gov. You must bring 2 forms of identification, one showing your current address. That's it.
Thank you, Clerk Brady. Nothing else? Nothing else? Trustee Vito.
So I'd like to just give a shout out, kudos to the Wheeling High School mock trial team. Yesterday, for the first time in the team's history, they qualified in the top 8 of the state competition, which in the mock trial world is like the equivalent of making it to state. No other 214 school has done that before except Hersey one time. In that 8, it allows you then to compete against the other 8 and try to make the top 3. They fell short of the top 3, but they really were in a class of elite schools: Stevenson, Maine South, Timothy Christian, just affluent Ivy League type high schools, and right there with them was Wheeling. So it's really great to see that the program's come a long way. The kids put a lot of effort in it. It was just really nice to see that they made it all the way there. So
That is wonderful that you do that. Can you just quickly explain what the mock trial is?
Yeah,
In
so
case
it's
people aren't familiar with, you know that?
basically most of the 214 high schools participate. It's basically just there's a problem that all the schools and all the high schools have throughout the state. It's the same case. This year it was a personal injury motor vehicle accident case, and they just compete as if they were actually putting on the trial. They have witnesses, they have attorneys, they do opening statements, they do examinations, closings, all that stuff. So myself, along with one of our plan commissioners, Diane Smart, have been volunteering, she's an attorney as well, with the Wheeling team for the last 5 years. And just the program's developed from 10 kids. Now we have over 31 kids, I think, were there this year. We were able to do 2 teams. It's just been really good. And so the kids were besides themselves yesterday, so it's just great to see that the program's come this far. So that's all.
It's an excellent thing you do, Trustee Vito.
Thank you.
If there are no other communications, we do still have some bills to pay for February 29th through March 13th of 2024. Motion?
So moved.
Motion, Trustee Papantos, second, Trustee Lang. Roll call, please.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos?
Yes.
Trustee Vito?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes, we do have an executive session this evening for the purposes of the purchase or lease of real estate property for the use of the public body and the setting of a price for sale or lease of property owned by the public body. Therefore, we need a motion to recess into executive session and adjourn the regular meeting.
So moved.
Trustee Rufato, second.
Second?
Trustee Kruger, roll call.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Rufato?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Papantos? Trustee Vito?
Yes.
President Horker?
Yes, there will be no meeting, there will be no business conducted after the meeting. You all can stay if you want, but I would go home if I were you. Meeting adjourned or recessed.